Our subject is science for standard 9th. Students, in the last period we have finished with our third chapter, where atoms and molecules. In that chapter we have discussed about what are atoms, what are molecules, and how the masses of the atoms can be calculated. Also we have seen the difference between atoms and ions. When there is a charge on atom, it is called ion. It means when it loses or gains the electron, it forms an ion. If it loses the electron, then it is a positively charged ion, that is the cation, and if it gains the electron, then it is negatively charged ion, that is anion. So all these things we have discussed in the third chapter. Also one theory given by Dalton in that chapter about atom. According to him, the atom was indivisible, means no further division of atom are there. There are no any subparticles in the atom, according to that theory. But after so many series of experiments, it was found that atoms is divisible. Because why this idea came in the mind of scientists? See students, page number 46. New questions arises in the mind of scientists. First one was, it is given here on in your textbook, you can underline students. What makes the atom of one element different from atoms of other? So we know atoms are there, but atom of a ball is different from atom of hydrogen. So what makes this difference in the atom? If atom is not divisible, according to the Dalton, then what is the reason that atoms of two different elements are different? What makes a difference? And the second question also arises that are atoms really indivisible as proposed by Dalton, or are there smaller constituent particles in them? So are the atoms really indivisible? There are no any subatomic particles in the atom. So these ideas, these questions arise in the mind of scientists, and it leads them for the further investigation, further experiments. And first base of that experiment, that if two substances they rub with each other, they attract each other. So one small experiment we will hear. These are just the small pieces of a paper. Okay, and this is the pen with me. Now what I will do, I will rub this pen with any cotton or any type of material. So by rubbing, by friction, charge is created on it, on this. And students, you can see here, they are attracting. These pieces of paper get attracted towards this pen. Also you can rub with your hand. See, these particles get attracted towards this pen. So what is this? This is called static electricity. Students, also you can experience this static electricity. Now this is the season of winter and you have a blanket over you, and when you rub the blanket from inside, you can see sprinkles, just like sprinkles inside the blanket. So stars formation like this. And what is this? This is the static electricity which produce due to the friction of your body and the blanket. It's not harmful, but just it is produced there. And due to this electricity, why it is called static electricity? Because it is not passing from one particle to another particle. It won't change its position. That it remains static. So it is called static electricity. And after the invention of this static electricity, it leads to the answer of the question arise in the mind of scientists that something is there. Some particles are there inside the atom which produces the charge after rubbing it. So which these particles are? These particles must be the negatively charged particles. It was stated by J.J. Thomson in the 19th century. Students, the name of the Thomson is given here. J.J. Thomson. So, according to J.J. Thomson, discovered the electron, which are negatively charged particles. These are negatively charged particles, J.J. Thomson. Now, only electrons are there in an atom, or some more particles are also situated inside the atom. Sisters, how the scientists do their experiments? First of all, Dalton stated that the atoms are indivisible, means no further division of atoms is possible. After that, J.J. Thomson discovered that no, atoms are not indivisible, but some negatively charged particles are there inside the atom. But only the negatively charged particles or something else is there inside the atom. So, what the scientists did after that, E. Goldstein in 1886 discovered the presence of new radiations in a gas discharge and called canal rays. Students, you remember this name, canal rays. You have to remember this, all the words, because any type of word can be asked in the objective type questions. So these canal rays, so these, what are these? When these are the alpha particles, when fast moving alpha particles are created in the discharge tube. So they are positively charged particles. It means, students, there are also some positively charged particles must be there in atom, because atom is electrically neutral. If negatively charged particles, electrons are there, then there must be positively charged particles should be present inside an atom. And the discovery of proton was done by the E. Goldstein, proton positively charged particles. And he gave the name as proton, this is electron. Most probably, protons are denoted by P and electrons are denoted by small e. Protons denoted by P and electrons proton P, electron E. Proton positively charged particles, electron negatively charged particles. So charge on protons and neutrons are Due to that, charge on an atom is not any charge on atom, neutral, because these two charges nullify each other. So, also scientists concluded that number of protons should be equal to number of electrons. Then only charge on an atom can nullify each other. So, amount of positive charge is equal to the amount of negative charge. So, number of protons is equal to number of neutrons. Number of protons is equal to number of electrons. Positive charge is equal to negative charge. Therefore, there is no any resultant charge on an atom. After the students, scientists thought about their masses. So, what can be the mass of electron? Mass of electron, quantity of matter in the electron. We have studied about the mass in the physics. Difference between mass and weight. Quantity of matter in the body is called mass, and gravitational force acting in the body is called weight. The mass unit kg, the weight unit Newton. Now here we will consider only about the mass, which is a scalar quantity. Students, I am repeating all the terms. Why scalar quantity? Because it requires only magnitude for complete description. Therefore, it is called scalar quantity. Here mass is a scalar quantity. And what is the mass of electron and mass of proton? So, charge are same. Charges on both are same. Means numbers of electrons and protons are same. But in mass, there is a much difference between mass of a proton and mass of electron. Mass of proton is 2000 times than of electron. So this is the difference between their masses. Mass of proton is 2000 times more than mass of electron. So mass of electron is suppose 2000 mg. Then mass of electron is just 1 mg. It is very big figure for the mass of electron. But just for the example, I am telling you. Just note down this, students. Now our next point is about the structure of atom. How the atoms, in atoms, protons and electrons are distributed. Scientists never stop thinking. Discoveries are going all over the world always. So next point is the structure of atom. See how they are going. In the third chapter, Dalton proposed that atom is not divisible. Now, after that, in fourth chapter, our first point was atom is divisible, and also there are positively charged protons, negatively charged electrons are situated inside the atom. So, after that, new question creates: how they are distributed? What is the structure of atom? Where are the electrons and where are the protons inside the atom? Students, atom is sphere. It's very small, very small. The radius in nanometer. 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to 9 nanometer. We have discussed in chapter 3. So here structure of atom. So where are the protons and charged and negatively charged electrons are inside the sphere. Students, here you have to imagine about watermelon. The reddish part of watermelon is positively charged proton, and the seeds, black seeds which are inside the watermelon are negatively charged. This was the concept given by Thomson. Actually it is not, but how the scientists are going step by step. First of all, Thomson proposed that the electrons are just like seeds in a watermelon, and the reddish part of watermelon is the positive charge. And here again, positive charge and negative charge, they balance each other, and the resultant charge on atom is zero, because positive charge and negative charge nullify each other. Okay, so this model was proposed by Thomson. Students, the picture is given in your textbook, page number 47. So when you start watching the video science, always keep textbook, pencil, rough book with you, so you can note down the important point. Also you can underline the main words, keywords which I tell you from here. So this structure is the red edible part of watermelon. Electrons are stuck in the positively charged sphere. This whole sphere is positively charged, and the electrons are inside the embedded in the positively charged red edible part. So Thomson proposed, theory of the Thomson was given here. Number one, an atom contains of a positive charge sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. Embedded means located, situated in it. And number two, the negative and positive charge are equal in magnitude. Then only they can nullify each other. So atoms as a whole is electrically neutral. Neutral means there is no any charge, because positive charge and negative charge nullify each other. Although Thomson's model explained that atoms are electrically neutral, the result of experiment carried by scientists could not be explained by this model. But also the experiment means model was given by Thomson. Other scientists were not satisfied with his model. So after that, one more scientist did his experiment. His name was Rutherford. He proposed his model, Rutherford. So what is the Rutherford model? What he did? So students, Rutherford gave his model, and what he did for his experiment, he took a gold foil. The thickness of the gold foil was about 1000 atoms, means very small. We see that the figure is big, but the size of atom is very negligible. We can't see the atom with even the microscope. It requires the electron microscope to observe the atom. So what the Rutherford did, he took the gold foil of thickness 1000 atom. After that, he passed the alpha particles with a very high speed. He passed the alpha particles through it, and according to him, according to his thinking, he thought that all the alpha particles will pass through the gold foil. But surprisingly, his prediction, his imagination came wrong, because most probably all the particles passed through it, but some of these particles get deflected by some angle, and out of 12,000 only one ray rebounced. See, this is rebounced. Again I will repeat. According to his imagination, he thought that all the alpha particles will pass through the gold foil, but result was unexpected. What was the result? All the particles, most probably all the particles passed through the gold foil, but some particles like this reflected back with some angle. So these are the sum of these results. And what was the third result? He observed that only one ray out of 12,000 ray that rebounced in the same direction, making angle 180 degree. So his result, his observation was totally different from his imagination. So it is given, the figure of this is given on the page number 48. Also you can see in that figure and the observations made by Rutherford. Most of alpha particles passed through gold foil. Number 2, very less deflected. Making an angle by small angle. And third, 1 out of 12,000 rebounced. So his imagination and his observation was totally different. Imagination was all will pass through it, but observation were different. Most probably they passed, some deflected by angle, and 1 out of 12,000 is rebounced, making angle 180. Okay students, so in the next period we will learn about the conclusion and features of the Rutherford. Now time for homework. These all the points are given in the textbook, page number 48. Now just note down your homework, students. Write Thomson's theory about structure of atom and write observations made by Rutherford in gold foil experiment. So this is your homework for today. Okay, we will meet in next session. Bye.